In this video, you create a door assembled from nested families. This is the most efficient method of creating complex families, as each of the family elements can be controlled more predictably by associating family parameters. Also, the family elements can be reused within other families. You also review the associated parameters and finally test the family within a project. Let's begin by creating a new family. On the Revit home screen, we'll select New Family. In the New Family Select Template File dialog, navigate to your Door Family Template.rft and then select Open. This of course creates a new family file. You'll notice that this family template contains a number of nested families already linked in for us. You'll note here that we have a 2D detail component representing our door swing, and we also have a door frame and door jamb already modelled for us. Additionally, there's a number of parameters already set up in this particular family template that we'll need to associate our door panel to. Let's begin by placing in our door panel. On the Create ribbon in the Model panel, go ahead and select Component. Revit then informs us that no component family is loaded within this project. Would we like to load one now? We'll click Yes. In the Load Family dialog, let's navigate to our Door Panel Hardware.rfa and select Open. We'll now notice our door panel on our cursor. We'll place it roughly in this location here, and then we'll use the Align tool to constrain it to the door frame. To release the Place Component command, on the context ribbon, we'll select Modify. Let's now zoom in to the right-hand end of our door panel. And now we'll constrain this to the correct location. On the Modify ribbon in the Modify panel, go ahead and select Align. Also notice on the context ribbon in the Align panel, we already have Lock checked. So as well as aligning, it will automatically constrain as well. Let's begin by aligning our door panel to the jamb. We'll select this edge of the jamb and then the bottom edge of our door panel, and you can see that that's now aligned and constrained. We'll now select this edge of the door frame and this edge of the door panel, and again that's aligned and constrained. We'll then press Escape twice to exit the Align command. Let's now open the 3D view. In the project browser, under the 3D views folder, double click on View 1. We can now see our door panel in place. Let's now change the door opening and see what happens to our door panel. So on the Modify ribbon in the Properties panel, let's go ahead and select Family Types. In the Family Type dialog, you'll notice that the width is currently set to 3 feet and 6 inches. Let's now set this to 4 feet, and we'll select Apply. What we'll now notice is that the frame and opening adjusts, but the door panel remains in its original location. We now need to associate those family parameters. Also, another thing that we'll need to check is the parameters that we're associating to do have to have a value. And you'll notice here that Vision Panel Width is currently set to 0. Let's give this an initial value. In here, I'm going to type in 10 inches, and we'll then click OK to the Family Type dialog. Let's now begin by selecting our door panel, and in the Properties palette, we'll go ahead and select Edit Type. In the Type Properties dialog, you can now see that we have various different parameters from the panel that we need to associate to the parameters of the actual door itself. Let's begin with Vision Panel. Here, we'll associate the family parameter. In the Associate Family Parameter dialog, the only yes/no parameter in this particular family is Vision Panel. So let's associate it to that and select OK. We'll now do the same thing for our materials. So let's begin with Hardware Material. And again, we'll associate this to the relevant parameter. We'll do the same thing for our Panel Material. Again, we'll associate. And in this case, this will be Door Panel Material. And now we can associate the dimensions. So the first one is Panel Height. This will simply be associated to height. Panel Thickness is associated to thickness. Panel Width is just associated to width. And finally here, you can see that we have Vision Panel Width. This is the parameter that we just added an initial value to. Let's go ahead and associate this and we'll select Vision Panel Width and click OK. We can then click OK to the Type Properties dialog, and we should now notice that our door panel adjusts. We also need to control the visibility of our door panel. We don't want the door panel to show in a plan view. Let's select our door panel, and on the Modify Generic Model Context ribbon in the Visibility panel, we'll select Visibility Settings. And here, we'll toggle off Plan Reflected Ceiling Plan and click OK. We can now save our newly created door family. To do this, on the Quick Access toolbar, we'll select Save, and we'll simply call this family Door, and then select Save. We're now ready to test our newly created family in a project file. Let's begin by opening up a project. Again, on the Quick Access toolbar, we'll select Open. In the Open dialog box, let's navigate to the Door Placement project and then select Open. The project opens in a plan view. We'll begin by placing a door and then loading in our newly created door family. On the Architecture ribbon in the Build panel, let's select Door. On the Modify Place Door Context ribbon in the Mode panel, let's select Load Family. In the Load Family dialog box, let's navigate to our newly created door family called Door. We'll select this and then select Open. Our door family is now loaded in, and we need to click a wall to place this door. Let's zoom into this area of the project, and we'll begin by placing a door in this location here. This is just approximate. We'll then place another door on the opposite side of the wall. And finally, we'll place another instance of the door in this location over here. To exit the Place Door command on the Context ribbon, we'll go ahead and select Modify. Let's now check the operation of our family. We'll begin by flipping one of the door instances. So let's select this door here. And here we'll use the spacebar just to flip that door instance. And of course we can see that adjusting and moving accordingly. Let's also check the level of detail in Plan. On the View control bar, we'll select the level of detail, and you can see presently this is set to Coarse. Let's set this to Fine. If we then zoom into the door, we can now see that the door panel is showing its full thickness, and also the frame and the jamb is now displaying as well. Let's also review our project now in a 3D view. In the project browser, under the 3D views folder, let's open up 3D. And then we'll zoom into the area of our project where we can see our doors. And we can clearly see here, this particular door family has a vision panel already configured. If we take a look at the door that we placed out over in this area here, you can see that this also has a vision panel. We'll now create a new door type that's going to be slightly narrower and not have a vision panel. Let's select this door here. In the Properties palette, we'll go ahead and select Edit Type. In the Type Properties dialog, you'll notice that the family is correctly named Door, but the type is automatically been named the same as the family. Let's rename this, and the default door will be called Type 1. We'll then select OK to the Rename dialog, and we'll now create a new type. In the Type Properties dialog, we'll select Duplicate. This, of course, will create a copy of the existing type. The default name is Type 2, which we'll accept and click OK. You'll now see that we can access all of our family parameters to control our new door type. So in this example here, this will not have a vision panel, and we'll change the width of the door from 4 feet to 3 feet, and then select Apply. We'll then click OK, and we can see our door has correctly updated. Finally, we'll check the level of detail in an elevation. In the project browser, under the Elevations folder, let's open up the elevation Door Elevation. We'll zoom into the two doors that we've already placed out, and we can correctly see in a coarse level of detail there's not too much information on our door. If we go down to the View control bar and we go to our detail level and now set this to Medium or Fine, we'll then see the rest of that detail displayed. Of course, if we wanted to override any of these properties, we could go into our Visibility Graphic Override dialog and switch off the various different subcategories. Okay, so our door family is now complete and tested.